Street chatter. Nimesh joins us to help us out with what he's picking up. Nimesh, what's the flow situation like? Is there panic, no panic? Your take.
So from a flow perspective, Nigel, there is clear feedback that there is no panic. I mean, let me put this very clearly, that there are, at least to me, there is no indication of any large selling or any large FII panic, so to speak. I guess we've seen a bit of a recovery as well in the last half an hour of trade, and that's largely led by the IT names. So all the IT stocks from the lows have seen a very sharp recovery. So maybe, you could see something from the US markets as well tonight. So let's see what happens. But broadly, it's been a global sell-off, so we can't be immune to it. But relatively, India's outperformed. If you look at the other Asian peers, or for that matter, global markets as well. I guess, as I said, flows, there is no panic as yet. But, over the next 2 days, all eyes will be on, is there any further clarity on reciprocal tariffs, whether that's getting, implemented from 9th, or there is a deferment or whatever. That's going to be a big trigger for global markets to watch out for, and for India markets as well. And, every market is oversold, Nigel. And maybe in that case, you'll see a very sharp short covering rally as well. Even if you look at India market today, the recovery started from a PCR of 0.65, and now it's moved to 0.72. So clearly, that's been a very strong indicator that around 0.65, you see a bit of a pullback for India markets as well. So maybe watch out for that. Even from a flow perspective, I understand some domestic mutual funds have done some nibbling in large cap stocks today. So again, the DI number could be quite interesting to watch out for. But from a HNI perspective, I guess everybody seems to be in a more like a protection mode. So they are either not buying, or they're looking to buy the defensive name. So that's the broad sentiment as far as markets are concerned. But your first question was on flows. Clearly, there is no panic selling from larger FIs.
Well, that's right. And that important technical indicator, right? Rarely it goes wrong. When the PCR falls around 0.65, that's from where we see a bit of a bounce. By the way, just need to focus on the screen, because the government has gone ahead and they've increased excise duty by 2 rupees on both petrol as well as on diesel. We'll try to get you further clarity with this. But that's the big breaking story that's come in at this point of time. Nimesh, we'll get back to that. But tell us, what about the top stocks you're tracking?
Okay, in terms of individual names, as I said, there is no panic selling and some bit of buying as well. So a couple of stocks which stood out for me was one, Indian Hotels and Indus Tower. Both are under pressure because of global sell-off, but broadly at lower levels, there is accumulation happening and there is buying happening in select names, and these two stands out in terms of buy flows today. On the flip side, Jio Finance and Shriram Finance, both are under pressure and dragged by large FI selling. So in both those names, expect high delivery volumes today. So that's the second set of stocks. The third name is Sudarshan Chemicals. It's under pressure today, but off late you've seen a bit of accumulation happening there. I understand a leading long-only global fund and a domestic mutual fund have been accumulating at lower levels into Sudarshan Chemicals. And the last name is Bajaj Finance. Again, there is price limit buy orders is what I understand from larger FIs today. So, as I said, in select large cap names, there is nibbling happening, and some of those names stand out, which includes Bajaj Finance as well.
All right, the news at the bottom of the screen, Nimesh, thank you very much for that, is clear.